side are you on?
Get off the fence, son.
Which side are you on?
Get off the bench, son.
Which side are you
Who will stand to defend us?
Which side are you on, my lord?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. How often do you get to go to London?
I say once or twice a year.
Do you still got people out there? Like
yeah,
family?
my grandmother. My aunt. So my aunt, my mom's sister, she's out there. I got my sisters on my dad's side. They're out there too, and that's really mainly it. Yeah.
My name is Talib Kweli.
I'm Tef Poe.
And in case you don't know, this is IDK.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's up, IDK?
What's up?
And a lot of people don't know that he was born in the UK, but raised in the DMV in PG County specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the second time we sat down, had a conversation. The first time that I met you was on People's Party. You were actually the first guest on People's Party ever.
Oh, wow.
That I did without knowing who the person was before I sat down.
Oh, wow.
I never
crazy.
did that before.
Yeah.
Because it was based on, interpersonal relationships. And you were somebody that Bermucci and Jared brought to me. It was like, yo, we should interview this guy because he's doing his thing.
That's fine.
Right. So I had to look you up and research you before I even agreed to it. Because I wasn't familiar. And when I looked, I was like, okay, I see what's going on. So in that conversation, we sat down and we chopped it up and we became cool.
Yeah. Nah, man, a lot of cool things came out of that. Through you, that's how I met Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started pulling up at Yellow Springs.
Yeah, and we formed our relationship. So there's a lot of cool things, and I get a lot of insight from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We get on the phone, so me and Tef have these long conversations. I met Tef in Ferguson.
Okay.
During the Ferguson uprising, rest in peace to Michael Brown Jr.
Gotcha.
And we have a lot of similar type of conversations where he'd be like, well, let me ask you this. So that's why we started this show.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it's like you and me and him have the similar relationship.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, sometimes you need the counsel of the OGs, man. Cats that's been through the gauntlet before, or the insight of just a wise person in life in general, you know what I'm saying? Regardless to their position, you know what I mean? So.
Respect. No, it's real. And that's I definitely like a lot of how I even got to where I'm at has always been based around asking questions, contrary to popular belief, it's not I don't know for me, you know what I mean? I try to make it that as much as possible, I try to know, I try to learn. Navigating certain things require very special attention, and sometimes you gotta talk to people who are in it to kind of understand it, And I definitely do that.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
One of the things that made me realize that I should interview you is listening to your 2019 album, Is He Real?
Yeah.
And you had Pusha T on it. You had GLC on
That's
it.
my big homie, the Midwest, man. GL, what's
and
up?
you had DMX on it.
Wow.
And, we spoke about that album because that was like new and fresh when we first started talking. So we spoke about that already on People's Party. If you want to check it out, you could still go check out IDK on People's Party. But since then, you've been able to do records with damn near anybody you could put your mind to. If I want to do a song with somebody, I'm doing a song.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you. There's no obstacles in your way.
Right.
So how are you doing this?
Well, it's it depends on each unique situation. The biggest thing, and I've said this before, is just having the audacity to even ask. I think people try to limit themselves, and they put the obstacle before the idea.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
The obstacle before the idea is a bar.
Yeah,
that's a bar.
And I just don't really do that. I see the idea and I see how to make it possible. There's a plethora of other things that are, have to be considered. Obviously, I have, records with people who are no longer with us, and that requires very sensitive attention to detail in how you ask and how you go about making sure that all parties involved are properly, taken care of. One, because the music industry and some of the things that come along with that, and just comfortable. More importantly, making sure everyone's comfortable. So I think I do my best to ask the questions necessary from the people who can actually provide those answers, and then I go about it, the way that I think is the right way.
You're not just doing this with songs and production, though, because you make the beats and play the music as well. You also do it just with your career. Like, you're into education, you're into fashion, you're into all different types of things. You're very versatile with your palette and diverse. Where are you getting that from?
Again, it's like I got OGs around me that are really good, and I think I have a curation of places where I can obtain information. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know for you, when it comes to anything underground, rap, all that, and even beyond that, I can call you and understand the landscape of which I'm about to get into.
We've had a lot of behind the scenes conversations.
Yes.
About a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have my friend A-Side when it comes to certain cultural things, or when it comes to fashion itself and in itself and things like that. Same thing. I got like, if it's about life, there's a plethora of different people I can reach out to, ranging from my grandfather to like the barbershop I used to work at, the owner. So I think what I've been able to do is curate or almost engineer how I'm able to receive information and from whom that information comes from. And then I take that and then I also tweak it to make it make sense the best way for me. And I think with that, I've had a high success rate of getting shit done.
Yeah.
I think that's really the honest truth.
Word up.
Let me ask you this, bro. Listening to your music, curation seems to be a big part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know where to place things. You know how to make the collaborations pop harder than they probably would pop on their own. How much of that really is a part of what you're doing, and maybe people aren't noticing that's a high level skill set of yours?
Right. So when people ask me what I do, obviously the easy answer is rap. I make music, rap. But if I want to be honest, what I do is I solve problems. I understand how to produce. I know how to produce an idea. So there's an idea, and a lot of people have those. Very few people produce it into something that's real, or a product, or whatever you want to call it. So from an overall standpoint, that's what I really do. And so for me, when it comes to like music and, as you say, making certain beats pop or being able to put things together, it starts from being a kid, only child. I remember my first imaginary friend, her name was Kimberly. She was based off of the pink Power Ranger. And that was like my friend when I didn't have like toys and stuff like that. Now, I didn't grow up poor or nothing, but man, being African in lower middle class is almost like being poor sometimes, because they don't want to spend nobody on nothing. You know what I mean? They like, you want a toy, they be like, go get a book. You know what I mean? So for me, I literally had to find ways to imagine things. But then when I was incarcerated, that allowed me to turn imagination, or taught me how to turn imagination into an actual thing that exists, something tangible. And so I think what I do is I see a problem, and I love solving problems. And I'm like, I wonder why MF Doom, J Electronica, Mike Jones, and Westside Gunn ain't on a song. I like the idea of that. That sounds cool. It's a cool idea.
The fact that you see that as a problem is fascinating. You're like, I have to solve this issue of this song not existing.
Yeah, but that's the reality, right? And I want that to happen. And so then I solve it the best way that I can. And that not only involves the layer of creatively making it make sense the best way possible on the song, but then also you have to deal with the other aspect of the music, which is what it takes for it to come out in the world legally. Mm-hmm. And I have a good team around me of people that I've curated, put it together, and then we all come together and make it make sense. So I can be scary to people. And the reason why I say that is because I'll sit here and say the craziest, wildest idea to you right now. Mm-hmm. And my lawyer said this to me, he's like, yo, but you, like 6 months later, you'll really be doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's and I thought it was normal, but he let me know, like, most people I know don't do that.
It's creative visualization, and it's speaking truth to power, and it's producing, like, this might be a controversial take, but when I think of the best MCs, for me, for you to make my list of best MCs, you can't just be nice with the rhymes. Mm-hmm. You can't just be nice on the stage. Mm-hmm. You also have to be able to produce a product that can show people that you are nice on the mic. Yeah. You also have to be able to, like, I need to see your body of work. And then it can't be any excuses. It can't be because I don't have a deal or nothing like the best MCs, you get it out no matter what.
Right.
That's part of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That should be crazy. I learned this when I used to cut hair. They say a good barber never blames his tools. A good craftsman never blames his tools.
That's right.
It's like, man, if that's the case, then I got an excuse for everything.
That's right.
Even if I got a deal, I'll be like, the label, they pushing this artist more than me. Or they didn't give me the budget for this music video.
If you the best, you can't be stopped.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, man. That's a bar.
Absolutely.
That's really like what it is. I don't really let circumstances dictate whether I can get something done or not. Yeah. I understand the circumstances and I look at what's good within the circumstances. And there's this feature that I'm working on getting for this next record. This guy has never featured on anybody's songs in the history of him ever working on anything. And I'm very close. They love the song. He's about to release some stuff and go on tour, but they didn't say no.
Right.
Which
I like the fact that like you said, that people put the obstacle before the goal. You set the goal like, no, I'm doing this. And there is no no. It's the Yoda of it. There is no try. There is only do.
There's a caveat to that. This is a very important one, though. It has to make sense. I have to believe it needs to be in this world. Yeah. And it's not just because I need it there, not just because of me. It's not selfish. Yeah. That's what allows me the audacity to keep going, because I could look crazy, some of this stuff that I'm trying to figure out. But I'm like, I know what I'm doing is right. I know my intention is the right intention. And that is what guides me. If I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't make a lot of this stuff happen.
It's like that quote from The Departed. I didn't want to be a product of my environment. I made my environment a product of me.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Scorsese.
My environment a product of me.
Yeah.
That's that. But see, that's what it is. So it's like when I'm not fighting, but when I'm on a conference call with Harvard General Counsel for 2 hours, trying to explain my class, and making sure we can keep it going in an interesting climate, let's say. I know the reason is a good reason. It's not a selfish reason, and that's what guides me.
Let's get into that. Both of y'all have worked with Harvard.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So I would like to hear y'all compare and contrast experiences with working with hip hop in academic spaces like that.
I mean, it's complicated. I was the Nasir Jones Fellow at Harvard.
Nice.
I was also an American Democracy Fellow as well. And then I started, similar to you, a program that helped visual artists work with the institution to present various projects that explain their worldview about different things pertaining to their local realities. COVID hit, so my students didn't get to come to the campus, but they still presented it through the university's means. But I spent a lot of time on campus, and I had some lonely nights, but I had some great nights too, because I was able to get ingratiated into the Black Boston community in a way, the music community. A couple guys hit me up out there. They was like, yo, we fans of your music. We got a studio. I started working with these cats at this store called Mass Appeal. And I met so many different people that I probably would have never met if I was like more, not so, if I was too afraid to actually mix it up with the local community. But outside of that, just being on campus, it could be very isolating, very lonely. For me, coming from St. Louis, Missouri, it was really more so about just turning over tables and taking advantage of every meeting and just expanding my connections.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, for me, it was just as simple as me remembering when I was in prison and trying to plan out my next moves, and then coming out, going to school, not being able to pay attention, focus, thinking I wasn't smart enough to even be in college, and then getting into music and somehow navigating my way to where I am today, and then looking around like, oh wait, everyone doesn't do this? And then when I started receiving praise for my ability to think things through and accomplish things, I started realizing, man, maybe I am smart at something. It's just I really just gotta love it. And I thought to myself, there's people in prison right now, and there's even just in the world that are just like me, but they don't have that example.
Yeah.
I was forced to have that example because I couldn't fail. I just couldn't fail.
Man, same story. I couldn't fail.
Facts.
I've heard you talk about your prison experience in other interviews, and of course in People's Party we went over that in depth. So I didn't want to go back into like do the same type of interview, but I did want to ask, because now it's been a few years since we had that conversation.
Right.
And so what I've seen from my own eyes and what appears to me to be is that a lot of your hustle and your ambition, and I've heard you talk about people being confused by your level of hustle and like, how's he getting it done? He must have a team. You know what I'm saying? Like how he got all these features. A lot of your drive, I feel like, comes from you ain't never sending me back to prison again.
Yeah,
It comes from like having your freedom taken away from you and being state property and knowing what that's like. And so you celebrate life in a way that other people who have not had the experience of going to prison don't. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that I'm probably the most confusing person or rapper to a lot of people. Until you get to meet me and really sit down and talk to me, then it all makes sense.
Right.
But I think I've had somebody mistake me. They were like, they thought I was like an African prince or something. And I just had mad money.
African king.
Oh, yes. But they thought I had like mad money and I just wanted to do rap. So I just started throwing money at rap.
Right.
Like, a lot of people, I've heard that actually.
Really? That's like a conspiracy theory on the internet?
Right. It's kind of crazy to know that, but it's flattering, you know, but unfortunately I have to work a little harder than that, you know what I mean, to get what I get. But yeah, it's really because of that drive. I went to Sierra Leone when I was 14. I got to see real poverty. You know, I learned how to cut hair with a blade and a comb when I was in Sierra Leone. So when I got to prison, I knew how to do that. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot to it. And when I figured it all out, ultimately, the reality of it all was that, yeah, I came from really not having my freedom. It's funny you mentioned state property. I forgot. That is technically what I was.
Yeah.
And so now when you put me in the music industry, after having all of those restraints and still overcoming them, I'm not saying it's a piece of cake, but man, listen, I'm with it. You know, COVID, you talking about I got to stay in the house. That ain't nothing for me.
Yeah.
That's nothing. The house, I could still go to the grocery store. I could still play Call of Duty. I could still, you know what I'm saying?
All the
Girls could still come over. Like, that was nothing for me. I probably thrived the most during COVID, to be honest.
Yeah, I have survivor's guilt about that a little bit.
Why is that?
Because I did very well during COVID.
Gotcha.
Because I was forced to change my thinking. I was forced to not be on the road and have to really think about where other revenue streams going to come from. Because most of my revenue is from touring.
Gotcha.
So when there's no more touring, I had to look. I had to go through me and Federico sat down. I went through my computer songs I did that I never put out. And that I hadn't listened to in years. That's just, I never had the time to go back to them. We started putting little projects together. People's Party went up. We got the Liberation album done. We got the Black Star album done. We did Midnight Miracle out in Yellow Springs. Like we was
Yeah.
You know, and because like I had to retrain myself to figure out how to go out there and get it.
Yeah, that's real. Nah, but that's what it is. So it's like, listen, no matter what happens to me, you will never see me go and complain about certain shit on the internet pertaining to other people being a reason for something that I don't have. Even if I gotta holler at them man to man or on the phone
or in them DMs.
In the DM, any of that.
Right.
I just don't really, because I overcome everything. And that's what people like. That's why I'm like, listen, there's people out there who definitely are jealous of the things that I have or feel a way about what I do and have things to say, never to my face, but, you know, I hear the whispers and things like that. And at the end of the day, all that does not matter because I'm the kind of person that no words can stop me. I'm really like a product of that cliche, which is nothing can stop me but me. Like I really am like, it's all here. That's why I stopped drinking and stuff. I don't smoke. Anything that could alter my mind, I don't play around with it because this thing could get me out of any situation or into any situation. I'm able to create whatever my future is going to be through this, you know?
That's
so
right.
I take really good care of it. And a lot of people, there's a few people that just kind of have things to say that mostly don't know me. But like, you know, I realize this is not going to end very well for you if you really like, if that bothers you that much, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, bro. How much of your life involves keeping some level of faith in the intangible active in your life?
1,000,000% of it.
I asked that because I notice a lot of times as artists, I had to check myself on some a couple weeks ago. Sometimes we start looking at other scenarios, people who have low levels of faith, right? But they're very intellectual people. And what they saying might sound right, but when you look at their life, you're like, you're nowhere near where I want to be, what I want to be, how I want to be living. Nothing about you is aspirational outside of the fact that you might be a little intellectual, but your faith levels ain't right. And I could tell because it's reflecting in what's happening in your life. You know? And I feel like just listening to you, you are a person who, without me knowing very much about your personal life, it seems that you have high levels of faith in yourself and other things.
Yeah. I believe in the intangible 1,000,000%. I think I would say the smartest people, and no disrespect to anybody in this room if you don't believe in intangible or God or anything, but I believe, this is my personal opinion for whatever it's worth, the smartest people know at least that they're not for sure that it doesn't exist. At least. Because it's just way too much that we're discovering on a daily basis. There's way too much information. We know less than what we do know, right? There's way more out in this world, in this universe that we don't know.
That's right.
Than what we do know. So if you are smart, you at least know that. And if you know that, then you can't shut down the idea of God. Now, you cannot believe for sure that God is, but you also can't believe for sure that he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Or you just believe, maybe that there is a God.
We just had KRS-One on stage with all of us.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all was all at the show.
Yeah.
And I was watching an interview with KRS-One around the same time where he said something that I had never heard before that resonated with me on this particular subject. Because, you know, KRS-One went from criminal-minded to spiritually minded. He went from heel to referring to himself as God. You know, I think KRS-One, I'm not sure KRS-One is 5%, but he speaks, his thought pattern, I think, unifies all the different conscious streams of thought, right? Particularly when it pertains to hip hop. And he was talking about religion, and he said that, man, I love atheists. And it was the way he started that was weird because you know he's spiritual, you know he said, man, I love atheists. They're so interesting and they're so smart. And he was like, I got a lot of people I know who are atheists, who their analysis of the world because they're not emotional and they're not tainted with religious biases. Their analysis of the world is so on point and so smart. But I don't have the privilege of being one.
Mm.
And when he unpacked it, he was saying, not just because of being from marginalized people or melanated people, but also because when he was in the homeless shelter or in the parks when he was homeless, he used to be like, yo, I'm one day going to be the best MC in the world.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'm going to make the masses move. I'm going to be, and he said, I know for a fact that there's a higher power for me speaking those words. As a man thinketh, so shall be. You know, he understands that. So just from his own story and knowing the people he come from, it's like, yes, atheism makes sense logically. But we were talking, Aaron, we were talking about it earlier that logic, we can't stop at logic. Logic is not the only thing that has value.
100%.
And if you stop at logic, you're going to end up a narcissist.
Yeah. And that's a great way to put it. I think too many things happen to me as a thinking person, or I think I say high level thinking. Hopefully that applies, you know, or what people would agree.
The real high level man.
Right. High level thinking.
Right.
I think it's very clear to me that there's too many quote unquote coincidences with certain things that for me to say that there isn't a God. And honestly, the reality of it all is,
and there is no coincidence as well. Which is what you're saying.
Right.
There's so many coincidences. It's not a coincidence.
Nah. And that being said, I think what confuses people is the word God and how it ties to religion specifically. But how about this for all my atheists out there? How about this? But what if we just call God a scientist? The scientist that engineered this world, that made it so that oxygen was produced by trees, and then it went to the sky, and then air, and then water comes down and waters the plants, and then in the ecosystem, right? There's no way. We know how this MacBook, we know this MacBook is a series of components that come together that work and allow you to work on this thing, this infinite world where the phone is flat.
Right.
But then there's nothing back here. But if you go here, you could be in this phone for the rest of eternity and never get all of the information. But there's nothing right here. That
science
is the work of God.
Yeah. And what is the purpose of science? I mean, the scientific method, right? You have to have an idea, have a theory, test it out, look at the results, and then weigh the results, right? Because you are trying to figure something out that you don't know.
Right.
Trying to figure out the unknown. What's the purpose of religion? Trying to figure out the unknown. How did we get here? The whole point of it is questioning, how did we get here? What is the purpose of all this? Where are we going? They're asking the same questions. They're just using different methods to gain those answers.
I think I actually had this conversation with one of the professors at the engineering school at Harvard. And I was like, yo, I think all sciences is trying to figure out what God is.
It's the same shit.
It's literally that. It's like an explanation. It's like, all right, here's a great example. When you wake up and you got sleep paralysis, some people be like, oh, it's REM sleep and your body shuts down to that. And some people are like, it's literally Satan trying to take over or a devil or a demon.
Same shit.
It could be the same thing.
And but here's
it's
why.
just a scientific version of what it means.
Here's why people have such a hard time accepting that on the science side and on the God side. Because in order to accept something that simple, that's very simple, you have to accept the fact that there's a lot of shit that you don't know. You have to be willing to accept the fact that the scientific method is trying to figure out things we don't know. You don't know. People argue about religion, be willing to fight to the death about what happens after you die, even though none of us know what happens after you die. None of us know that for sure, because none of us here have ever experienced it. But people will argue to the death. No, this book says this. What you talking about? This book says this. No, and then they fight and they killing each other over something we don't know, because they don't want to admit, you know what? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
It's wanting to be right more than wanting to have a solution.
And I could take it even a step further. It's the human being's inherent fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Every little fear that we have on this earth is rooted in the unknown.
It's
right. About not knowing what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we obsess about trying to figure it out. And in the process, we have these interesting issues. I am okay with the unknown.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I had to be okay with the unknown when I was locked up and I didn't know my release date. And I went up for parole and they denied me and put me on administrative refusal. And I didn't know when I was coming home. Like I had to be all right with the unknown.
To embrace the uncertainty.
And guess what? I took control of what I did know. And it's like, okay, I can write these ideas down. I know I'll get out sometime soon. I know my max release date would be this day. So let me just work backwards from that. And that whole idea of me like working on the being okay with the unknown is probably the foundation of a lot of my clarity. You know, it's just
Word up.
Things are very clear to me because of that. So,
word up. Oh, go ahead.
Does that also kind of lead you into being able to write so many different styles of things because you're not settling in one positionality or one absolute worldview necessarily?
Yes. That definitely has a lot to do with that. The DNA, though, comes from something else mostly, and it's how I grew up. You know, I was born in London. I came to America. I was 2 years old. My mother had me when she was 19, so she's young. So I grew up with my mother, basically. She brought me by herself. So, you know, my mom's from Sierra Leone, dad's from Ghana. Like, grew up in the DMV, got kicked out of middle school, went to middle school in Pennsylvania, did that for a little bit, came back, went to high school, got kicked out of 5 high schools, went to prison, went to boarding school in Kentucky. It's just all this stuff. And in all of those experiences, meeting different types of people, getting different palettes within my music, talking points, all these things, I've met almost every different type of person in a general sense. So now when I make music, I can connect to this style of music and that style of music equally, and it makes sense for me, you know? And I think that is really what the DNA comes from, of diversity, at least. That's my life has just been diverse.
Yeah. All your projects are super diverse, but I feel like you see yourself as like you just going crazy. You're going crazy with the styles and with the features. You got the Neptunes, T-Pain, Sway Lee, Lucky Day, Slick Rick, Offset. That's just a few of them. But you mentioned the song earlier, Red, J Electronica, Westside Gunn, MF Doom. We performed it, a version of it on my set. This is one of my favorite songs by you. Can you tell us how that song came together?
That particular song started with a beat from Illingsworth that had no drums on it. And I put drums on it and a little extra little thing, vocal thing that was really catchy. And then knowing that I had the MF Doom thing that I'd done with him already, but I had extra pieces left, I wanted to put like a little piece of that in there. It wasn't supposed to be a feature, actually. It was just supposed to be like MF Doom vocals.
Like, but then, like a sample or something.
Yeah, but then when he passed and we had the discussion, it was like, look, man, give him that love, give him that respect. Like, it's all good. You know, that's what we're going to do for that. Me and Jay, like, Electronica actually DM'd about it and stuff, too. And Jay, I just told him, that was the last person I hit to get on there. Gunn sent me his verse in like 24 hours. It's quick. He recorded himself.
How much of the song was done for Gunn to hear it when he sent you that verse?
I probably did my parts.
Just your parts?
All my parts.
Yeah, okay.
It was early, but his verse was a little longer too. But we had to put everything on there. So yeah. Then Jay took a little bit. He took a couple months, like 6-7 months, to send me his verse, but he eventually did.
Yeah,
and it was fire.
I got a couple songs with J Electronica. The first time we worked together, I had to go to a meeting Farrakhan was having.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I tried to track him down.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You got Young Thug on this album too.
Yeah. Thug was on there.
How'd that song come about? How did y'all create that song?
That was through actually JaVale McGee. He has like some records with him, and then I did my thing with it, produced it, all that. And then after I did it, Thug hit me and was like, yo, this is crazy. This is, because he remembered what it was and then what I turned it into. And then he's like, yo, you gotta hit me, man. We gotta do more shit. And he got locked up, a couple short, well, I don't want to say shortly after that, but before we ever got a chance to do anything in a studio, he had got locked up. Yeah. Man,
so you sound sonically like one of the leaders of the new school. As a young visionary, what are you thinking you're gonna do next? What are you seeing next? What are you hearing next? What textures and colors? Where are you taking us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm taking you guys down a different journey, but the same path, different journey, but the same. We're gonna end up in the same place. What I did in the past is like put different types of sounds on one record. Now I'm more so like, this is my rap record, this is my whatever record, but both hip hop in the essence. But rap is one thing. There's ways to be melodic and it's still hip hop, and whatever the case may be. And there's a journey that I'm about to go down that's risky, especially coming off of a project where everyone's giving me all this praise, to then not double down on that exact thing. One is a very me thing. Two, I'm looking at myself as this is the rebirth. We're starting from scratch. I've gotten to like venues like Urban Plaza and Webster Hall, but I'm starting back fresh again, like I just started, and going to smaller venues.
It's a good feeling, right?
Yeah. And so we rebuilding everything, but I also need to establish at the same time, this is one side of me, this is the other side, and fans can like both or pick which side they like more, and they can fight with each other. Not physically or anything, hopefully not, but just, argue with each other about which one they like. I
got to tell you, that's a challenge. I think it's more of a challenge for artists like me than for you. I think from the first time people hearing you, even on those early mixtapes, you're a producer. So you're experimenting from jump, right? And I think what I hear you saying is it's always been, he's a rapper who can make beats. By the time you get to the Simple album in 2022, it's now this shit feels like it could be any type of, this music could exist in any format. That album feels big and international. Feels like even disco from Southeast to Paris. You're living life, you're talking about it on the record. You're like, yo, I want a record that could play in this lounge in Paris. Not just one that could play in the Southeast. You know what I'm saying? But so in my career, I've done things like that where I've tried different sounds and ideas. I think my most experimental stuff is the stuff I did with Idol Worship, which was really, for me, a pop thing. It was a pop. I wasn't rapping. I was more like singing and adding accents to it. And I had an album called Fuck the Money, which had more like commercial production on it. And I called it Fuck the Money because I didn't want to make my fans pay for that. I didn't want to make my fans pay for me fucking around, experimenting. I was like, here, go Fuck the Money. That one's for free. But the older I got, I'm glad that I experimented. I got songs with just about every. I used to be like you. You know what I'm saying? I got songs with every different type of artist. I got songs with Gucci Mane. My fans is mad about. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, they hate it. My fans hate it. They like, why would you sell out?
They didn't like the song, or they thought you sold out?
It doesn't even matter what the song was. The idea that I would do a song with someone like Gucci, and this is early Gucci. This is just before jail Gucci.
One of my favorite Gucci's.
That was a little bit more gully Gucci. So my fans was like, nah, you supposed to be the conscious poster child, you know what I'm saying? But as I got older, I find that for me, I'm more drawn to doing what it is that I know best and doing like that certain type of hip hop and getting into but I only know that because of all the experimenting I did. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like with you, the Simple record is like very different from the Madlib joint, the Devil Smiles joint. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a whole different chamber.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, I've been planting the seeds. But when I say I'm going for it, I'm going for it on these next, this rap one, I went for it. Mm-hmm. This next one, I'm going for it, but it's all in the name of hip hop. I think people confuse hip hop with rap. You know what I'm saying? Rap is a part of hip hop. It's like I had this meeting with NASA and JPL.
Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live.
Yeah.
Another bar from the teacher.
Yeah, lit. So I'm like, I look at it like I had this conversation with someone at JPL NASA where we were walking through the facility and they were like, I was like, what's that picture? Because it was like a painting almost. And they were like, oh, well, that's an image of I think it was the moon. Because when they sent the first camera up there to take a picture of the moon, it broke. And they had to basically look at the light and read the light and draw it based off of reading the light. Wow. And at that moment, I was like, oh, wow. Science is an art. It's not a bachelor's of arts or a bachelor's of science. That doesn't make sense. Art is the overarching thing, and science falls under it. Engineering is an art. And that's a very complex thing. I'll simplify it. This is the most simple version of what I mean by that. Now, I'll go in a little bit about the complex version, but the simple version is, in order to solve a problem, you have to draw symbols. You need to know art to draw, right? To some degree. That image of the moon was art, right? Now, what I mean in a complex way is there is an art to solving a problem. It's like this thing, if you do it this way, there's an art to engineering, social engineering, all of these things, there's an art to it. Yeah. And I think people look at it like that. So the same thing applies to hip hop as it pertains to music. Because just because it's melodic doesn't mean it's not hip hop. What are we talking about? What's that song about Beastie Boys? Is it called Girls? Yeah. That song is like they're singing. Yeah. But it's hip hop. Yeah. It's like what we talking about. Gunna is hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is he rapping? He's rapping, but he's singing when he's rapping. It's a feeling. That's really what it is. It's all that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like looking at everything I've ever done and realizing how much of it is hip hop. And there's a reason why people put rap and R&B together in a certain category too. And it's not just because it's quote unquote black music. Yeah. It's deeper than that. Yeah. It's the feelings, the soul, Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, word up. Now your parents are from Sierra Leone and Ghana. Right?
Yeah.
Which one is which?
My mom's from Sierra Leone, my dad's from Ghana.
Okay, so Sierra Leone and Ghana, who has the better jollof rice?
I have to listen. I'm gonna go with Sierra Leone. I think people sleep on Sierra Leone jollof rice a lot because it's such a small country. We don't compare culturally in terms of our history. Definitely does, but in terms of our or the popularity of our culture. But it's soft. It's kind of more natural. It's I like Sierra Leonean more than Ghanaian, but I love Ghanaian jollof. I love all of the jollof rices, man.
The first jollof I ever had was Ghanaian. I love jollof rice. As someone whose parents is from Africa, can you tell us why this debate is so heated? Only because I haven't figured it out.
I think, man, black people, we just like the beef over everything, man. We'll find anything. I don't know what it is.
What it is about the jollof rice?
We just be wanting the beef, man. It ain't even it's not a conversation that's even worth it. It's about who is the cook. Right. Which mom or auntie or grandmother made it. That's really what it boils down to. It's not about the country, But yeah, that's my idea.
No doubt. I'm proud of Ghana right now because, first of all, I got to go recently. Shout out to Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper. But backed by the African Union, Ghana is now stepping up to push for reparations. They step into the United Nations to rally global support for a resolution that could declare the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity of all time. So that's what Ghana's on right now. So yeah, salute to Ghana.
Man, and whatever I could do to support that conversation, that's real. That's real. That is a salute to them for pushing on that, because it is very true. I don't know why people try to like brush that off like it ain't nothing. And I look at Black people in America specifically, and I'm just like, man, I love seeing Black Americans doing what they're doing, because a lot of times people say, if you look at where people have come from, in my eyes, it's very clear that although we are not exactly where we need to be, we deserve to be, and where we want to be, the amount of progression based off of where we came from is a beautiful thing to really see, if you really look at it that way. Yeah. I think it could be dangerous for some people to look at it that way, just because it makes it, maybe by default you become content with what you have, and we don't want that at all. But I always want to just say, like, man, kudos to what we're able to do, provided we don't have the best circumstances, and a lot of people don't give a fuck.
That's true. Yeah, I like that we can have this Pan-Africanist conversation on the show. That's my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, nah, man, show love, man, to the reality of the situation. Like, it is beautiful, but we want more. We deserve more, and we're gonna keep working for more. Shout out to Ghana, though.
Shout out to Ghana, yeah.
You make pretty big records, like hits, quite frankly.
Thank you.
But being a hit maker and also having a broader perspective than the average songwriter, has that had an effect on your placement in the industry, you think? Does the fact that you're a little deeper than the average person that's writing these hits take a toll on your career in any way?
No. I am one of the most steady stocks in rap music, if you will. It's taking its time, but it's
steady stock is
going.
Like,
that's a great term.
I'm a good bet, and at some point it's gonna really, really go to where it needs to. Everything that I've ever done, at some point, will finally connect together. So nothing I'm doing ever is in vain. I think I'm telling my story. I think in the process, I'm learning how to organize how I story tell. In the process, I'm learning how to not rely on other people and being able to do certain things myself. And I think in due time, I continue down this path. It's all going to connect in a way that nobody's ever seen in rap music before. And I strongly believe that. So how I look at things and what I'm doing, they're all in the likes of people like Kendrick Lamar or Jay-Z or Ye or who else? Like, I mean, we could say Q-Tip, we could say you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. Like, I gotta make sure I like, you got hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if people, because of the underground rap thing, especially your era, because they were really strict about that shit. Like, now you can kind of do what you want to do, right? But nah, like, niggas was coming with shit. Like, I'm just a product of what's been laid out there. And I think that my career, just like every single other person who's ever made music and been successful, is different than everybody. I think that I've connected in really good ways. And, we look at ourselves, how this go. We forget about what we're actually doing because we see our goal and we ain't there yet sometimes. So we forget that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to say I got hits, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, well, if you think about it, it does have a lot of streams in some of these songs that, you know what I'm saying? They
in this era, what defines a hit, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think it's just more of that until it all comes to this big snowball effect,
Yeah. You know what I find fascinating is how the fact that we are slightly different in generations. You're younger than me. How our lens is different. We've talked about this on the phone, and how the way that we get introduced to certain music is different. Like, for me, J Dilla and Madlib and MF Doom have always been a part of my musical DNA from the time that I came in. Right. And then they quickly became my peers. And you like, for me, I was up late watching Adult Swim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember that era of when Madlib and them was in Doom particularly was tapping in with Adult Swim. I mean, people don't know Doom did an Adult Swim Christmas album. There's a Christmas record by Doom that you could listen to.
Wow.
And explain to us how you go from being a fan of that style of hip hop and hearing it on Adult Swim to now you're able to really tap in with these artists.
Yeah.
Because for your, the devil, when the name of the project, When the Devil Smiles.
Even the Devil
Smiles, you tapped in with Madlib on a lot of those beats.
Yeah. I mean, and I thank you for your insight on how to kind of make some of those things happen. But going from that was just basically, I got into lo-fi hip hop through Adult Swim and things like Dilla and all these, artists,
Man, I hate that term. I have respect for the lo-fi community because the lo-fi community, people who listen to that, they support the type of hip hop I do. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear the term, it's triggering to me.
Why?
Because for me, it feels, and this is my issues. It has nothing to do with people who listen to lo-fi. And God bless everybody who listens to lo-fi and people who fall asleep to lo-fi playlists, play while they doing their homework. Like, I know how people do, but for me, it feels like music that's based on the type of hip hop I do, specifically high tech and J Rawls and people like this. But you take out the woes and the pain and the angst of the rapper who's on the track, and you remove that element from it, and you just have the lo-fi beats. So it's like you get the vibe of the underground hip hop. You get this vibe, and it's vibey. And the generation of people who listen to that, they don't even really know so much. I find they don't know so much the artists who make it. They are listening in playlist as opposed to listening to individual artists and albums.
I got you.
So it's like I put on this lo-fi playlist,
and then there's a bunch of shit. Yeah.
It's like it feels like a shadow of what
you do.
But I realized that that's my own personal thing.
So this is what I say to that. It's up to us, you, me, everybody who feels any type of way. I don't feel a way about it, but you got to reclaim that.
Yeah. That's why I'm speaking on it now on this platform.
No, because the beauty of it is now, think about jazz, right?
Because I'm like, that's people say lo-fi. I'm like, that's hip hop.
Yeah,
you know it's hip hop, but it's hip hop without the hood elements, without the black elements, without the elements that make it uncomfortable. It takes everything. It takes all the things that are comfortable by hip hop and puts them in a playlist.
So yes, I agree with you there, and but. The caveat to it is this. You allow now a generation of people who wouldn't otherwise listen to it to now exist, right?
That's right. Which is why I have to put respect on them before I can start.
But now there's a platform. Now you make songs and now it's able, like you go to a bunch of old Dilla beats or old Dilla records, and because of the lo-fi movement and it blowing up, now you got millions, 20 million views on this song that back in that time wouldn't have had 20 million views when that was happening.
It's the same thing CL Smooth was saying on Straighten It Out by Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Yeah.
When he was saying, listen, we take these samples that y'all are complaining about you taking our essence, but we giving it an audience of people who never discover it. So, and now you're creating a whole generation of kids who want to dig and go back and find it. You're saying the same thing about the lo-fi.
So now it's up to us to reclaim what that means. It's like, okay, y'all like that over there. Well, this is where it comes from. And then the ones that really, really love it so much, they come to that. That's what I'm saying? And now you can fit in the playlist right where it's happening. Or these things are aggravating the algorithm. And the important thing of subgenres that people are forgetting is, if I just search hip hop, so much is gonna come up. But if I search lo-fi hip-hop, I have a specific thing that I'm looking for that I'm trying to feed emotionally.
Yeah.
And I can go to it and do that. I think, and I'm a big fan of Flying Lotus.
Yeah.
But he said something, I didn't love that he said this. He said something like, lo-fi hip-hop is like mall music or something. I don't know what he said, something like that.
Listen, I didn't hear him say that, but what you just, you paraphrasing what he said?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm saying something similar, but I'm putting how I feel on me rather than putting it on the artist who created. Because everything you just said is right and exact about how that opens up the lane to have more people tap into what I do. But I understand how you could feel like that. It's a feeling. Yeah. And not every feeling is right. As a matter of fact, a lot of feelings is wrong. You know what I'm saying? But it's a feeling that you feel like, oh man, you feel like they missing something. And I can see how someone like Flying Lotus, who is a bridge between what I do and the lo-fi generation, because really he opened the lane for that with the type of beats he's doing.
Right. But see, here's what I think. The moment you decide, I'm going to make art, but I enjoy the commerce, especially the successful part of the commerce aspect of the art, you have to understand that you now give it to the world to make what they want to make of it.
Oh, yeah, it belongs to the world once you put it out.
Yes.
And that's absolutely true.
And it's like, bro, you know, when I make music, people be like, yo, how are you so vulnerable on music? Because when I make it, I don't expect to put it out. I make it because I like it. That's what I do. And then when I decide to put it out, I've made the conscious effort and understand and have the conscious understanding that when I put this out, it's for people to do what they will with it. So look, think about it like this. Lo-fi hip-hop, right? Y'all niggas was just making shit. Boom, boom. All right, let me sell a couple records, da-da-da. For it to blow up into this huge thing, you got it's pretty much the best results of let's see what happens. It's huge, and it's by your own terms, because maybe some of the playlist music is specifically engineered just like pop music would be to get attention, right? But within that, I'll be real, there is a lot of the essence that's still completely there, bro. Like, it's right there. It's like there enough that when you make it now, you don't have to get the Taylor Swift record deal and have millions of dollars pumped into you to fit into an algorithm and have some kind of success. They've done it for you. Make the music. Make the music. That's what we do. So my opinion is, I agree with you, but it's provided a platform that if the platform didn't exist, we'd be complaining that the platform don't exist. We'll find a reason to be mad at the shit.
Yeah.
I think reclaim it.
It's way sexier to complain about what you don't like than to talk about what you do like. It's way sexier. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but niggas can eat if we, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, bro, we do this because we love it, but we also have to pay our bills, man. We can't be homeless. There's a lot of people on Skid Row that had a dream and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So to the platform, man, fuck it, man. There's kids that could listen to the shit now. It don't gotta be because their dad played it or anything now. I know about a lot of shit in that world is either Adult Swim, because that was my lo-fi hip-hop on YouTube when I was growing up, right? Or my stepdad, luckily he was, he's from Africa, but he came in, he was DJing, so he'll play all yours type of shit. He loved like Tribe Called Quest. He loved your music. He loved like Dilla, things like that. So luckily I got that. Most African kids' dads wasn't on that though.
Word up. So I'm gonna connect this. I'm gonna attempt this segue.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz had a show on MTV around 2006 called Trippin', which she would take friends of hers and people and celebrities and artists to impoverished places and marginalized places, and we would like build wells or bring food and stuff like that. So I went on a trip with her to Tanzania, as they say, in the Serengeti Plain. You know, where Simba, Lion King, all that shit happened. I was there for real. And you could go on YouTube and watch this. And I got in a hot air balloon and we tracked lions and we built wells. And I went with Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon. And one of the things, if you look at it, they asked me, what would you have been doing right now if you weren't here in the Serengeti? And I say, I'd have been watching Adult Swim. So now, years later, I'm here with you talking about Adult Swim. And that you watching Adult Swim led you to have a record with Kaytranada and Black Thought that you perform in on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Tell me about performing on Jimmy Fallon and how you hooked up that record with Kaytranada and Black Thought.
So, I mean, it starts with the record. I heard the beat and I did my thing on it and I'm like, Tariq thought was supposed to do something on another song anyway. And I ended up having to drop it. He wasn't able to get the verse to me in time. And he still talked about it, you know, when we met up. But that shit kind of led to me doing this. He's like, I got you, baby boy. Sent me the joint, sent me the verse over. I'm like, yeah, you went crazy on it. And then the record comes out, and I'm realizing people really like it. So I was like, you know, the idea of performing this on Fallon probably would make sense, especially because he's on it. So I reached out. I actually asked him what's the best way to go about it. And he's like, send it to me. I'll send it to Julie, who works there, and she see what she says. And then she liked it, and then they played it for Jimmy, and Jimmy loved it.
Jimmy loves hip-hop.
Yeah. So he's like, yo, Jimmy loves the record. When y'all free, you and Kay, he put me and Kay in a group chat, and then Kay was like, this date, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense for me too. And then that's how we ended up doing that. And the performance that everybody saw was actually our first time doing it that literal way. We rehearsed. We didn't really even rehearse. Like we had really camera blocking, and we tried to do the best rehearsal we could have done.
Right.
And what people saw was just the raw.
Just had to
in
go
the
out there and
moment,
do it.
we just had to do it.
Yeah.
This was what it was. You know, I'm like down to the last minute. I'm like, yo, because you know, Thought was wearing like a green beanie, and I was like, man, can we switch it to a white kufi? Because the prison stuff, it makes sense. You got the beard. I know niggas like that look like you when I was locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was like, and we figured that out. You know what I'm saying? It was all the little details were all happening.
That was powerful. The imagery was powerful. You know, Black Thought, that's my birthday twin. That's one of my favorite people. He's a very spiritual person. He's a very deep person. But when he's on The Tonight Show, he's at work. So you don't get to see often his personality unless he's rolling out a project. Maybe he'll come and sit on the couch. Maybe he'll do an extra verse, go into commercial where he says some deep shit. But you having him like that on that record allowed people to see, you know, our MC, America's top MC, the world's top MC, but in his essence, even though he was at work, and it was beautiful to see.
Yeah, man, shout out to him. He was like how he was rapping, he was like the literal version of the Muslim guy, the Muslim brother that's like trying to tell me like, yo, this is how the streets is. You know, you in this situation now. Careful who you befriend. They will switch up in the end. You know what I mean? Like, it was just felt so organic to my reality, you know? Man, so shout out to him. Shout out to Kaytranada on the beatbox.
Yeah, shout out. And
you know what I mean?
You sampled me on that record.
Which one?
Kaytranada, Timeless.
That's you?
That's me.
I never knew that was you, bro.
That's crazy, right? I need my royalties.
I didn't know that was you. That's crazy.
That's me. That's from my record with Kaytranada and Anderson .Paak. And I didn't hear it when you did it on the Tonight Show, but when I went to listen to the album, it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm listening to the album from my phone, and I keep starting it over because I'm like, why does my acapella keep playing? I'm trying to listen to IDK. I keep starting it over, like, why does it keep playing me saying Kaytranada, Timeless, and like 3 times? And I'm like, oh, the record starts with me.
Kaytranada.
So it's all full circle.
That's hard. All right, I'll holler at you. I didn't know that.
No, it's all good. I was joking about the royalties. I don't need. That's a gift. I don't need no payment on that. I'm just happy to have heard my voice on something that fly.
Yeah. I never knew that was you because that's his tag. He don't use it often. That's his only tag.
So he uses that too.
Every now and then you get lucky and you get the Kaytranada classic time. That's from my record. So then I started hitting it. So I took the MPC, I put it in the MPC, and then I just hit it with the That's time. So I turned it into a part of the beat.
Yeah, and it goes
it's really just a tag.
So really, I need to be featured on the song.
Yeah,
I should have been at this nice show, like Timeless Classic.
If I would have known that would have been fire.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow. Yeah. Now I know though.
Yeah, man. We really aligned on some divine design type shit. Because the way that you came into my life and the way that we keep connecting is like, ever since you came on a people's party the first time, we've been aligned and been connected. And I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you too, man.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
No doubt.
Love, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, gang.
No doubt.
Peace.
And I believe in the unknown. Desire to breed peace in the gun zone. Superhero aura, palms of a mere mortal, cursed from the womb. Probably should have been aborted. I'm fighting inside of a thunderstorm.